Hi there, welcome to day 2 of my very short tour of South Africa in December 2023. So today I'm going to set off from here in Oudtshoorn and head up the Swartberg Pass up towards Prince Alfred, and then from there I'm going to head east and then south again, and then there's a back road from, I think it's called Uniondale, to Knysna, which looks quite long. It might be sort of 60 or 70 kilometres, something like that, of dirt road that drops me into Knysna. Hopefully going to see some friends there, have a look at the Indian Ocean, and then head back up through George back here to Oudtshoorn. So yeah, really looking forward to another good day. It's miserable weather, as you can see, blue skies. Sorry everyone at work. But yeah, looking forward to getting back on the bike. It's great to be on the roads and heading for the Swartberg Pass, which is open. So you might have noticed, if you watched my video yesterday, the terrible audio quality. I can only apologise. If I even put it up, it'll only be very short, or we'll have a narration rather than using the actual audio. And the problem was the camera. Now, as you can see, right now I'm using my GoPro Hero 10 with the mic adapter and a microphone on the inside of the helmet, which actually seems to work pretty well from an audio and video perspective. What it's not great from is a weight perspective, and especially with this, this is a helmet chin mount specifically for this helmet, made by a company called Chin Mounts. And what I've found is that it just doesn't stick well enough in hot weather with this amount of weight on it. I mean, it's not exactly the mount's problem. I think it's just the weight of the GoPro combined with the mic adapter and everything else that goes on it. You've got to have it a little bit further forward so you can get the right angle. And when I used it for my Kerala trip with this helmet, about 7 or 8 days in, the mount came off. Nearly lost the camera, managed to catch it on my lap and put it in my pocket. But nevertheless, since then I've been looking for a better solution, and I thought that the DJI Action 4 would be it, because you can get just a small mic cable adapter which you plug in. You don't need to have the heavy box, the camera itself is smaller, it's got a bigger sensor, so that all seemed perfect. And that's what I used yesterday. Everything was brand new, and it's my own fault for not testing it, and I just assumed it was all working. Well, it wasn't. So what I've got is a load of terrible audio with just a load of wind noise, and anything at speed you can't hear at all. So I wasted a bit of time this morning trying to find a different 3.5mm mic jack to USB-C adapter, in the hope that that might solve the problem, and I'm afraid to say the other ones I've tried don't work either. So the Action 4 hasn't quite been the upgrade that I was hoping for. This is a shame. Luckily I do still have my Hero 10 with the mic adapter, so I've put that on the helmet. Let's see how long that lasts in the heat of today as I head up the Swartberg Pass. Hopefully it'll do me for the rest of this trip, and then I'll see what else can be done with the Action 4. So if anyone has an Action 4 and has a mic set up in a helmet that works, please let me know. I'd be very interested to know how you're doing it and what actually makes it come through with a helmet mic that works with wind noise. That is way too long for an intro, but I've done it anyway. There's some amazing mountains ahead, so I'll show you what this pass looks like. This really is just glorious riding country. A really nice surface, temperatures 23 degrees Celsius, which is very comfortable. You know, I don't have my full mesh gear on, but well vented. And yeah, this road is just sublime, and as you can see, it's really, really busy. Actually, I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm sure I will at some point. So here we go, this is the Swartberg Pass here in South Africa. I can't remember where I heard about it, but it's definitely one of those roads that was on a list of roads you should ride. The first bit, just up to, well, just where I started recording this, was all that tarmac with lovely flowing corners as you glide up the valley, and then now suddenly the road has got very small. There's quite a lot of potholes in it, and it's just like one of these dirt roads covered with gravel. Not a lot of barriers and not a lot of space on the corners. There was a few signs on the way up that mentioned that actually the pass is not suitable for heavy vehicles or caravans, so that's a bit of a bonus for me. So at least I won't be meeting any of them, but I'm sure I'll be meeting some traffic at some point. Stunning views though. Let's see how this goes. As you can see, I'm getting closer to the summit now. The road's becoming a little bit more potholed, but it's still not too bad. I have seen one car that passed me a moment ago when I stopped to take some photos. They're just up ahead of me, but they're going very slowly, so there's not a lot of dust. As you can see, they're not really big on crash barriers here. It's literally just that wall, maybe with a small row of stones if you're lucky, so there's not a huge amount to stop you from plummeting over the edge. But then again, I guess this isn't the main road for doing this particular route over to Prince Albert. So the downside with going up this way from south to north is that you're always on the downhill side of the road if you can encounter anything, but generally it's wide enough. And like I say, I've only seen a couple of cars coming the other way, and they've all been going at sensible speeds, so it's not felt too exposed. Oh, a little bit of bumpiness there. The traction control is certainly getting a workout with these 80/20 tyres. I think I must be pretty close to the summit now. And here we have the summit. Wow. So here I am at the top of the Swartberg Pass. It's been a really fun ride up. I'll just show you what it looks like over on this side, because this is just where I've come from. Not sure if you can see it just over in the distance there, but it basically goes along the valley bottom and then cuts up the hillside, and then you get to the top here, which is, well, you see my GS parked up there, and then from the top of here I get to ride all the way down here. Hopefully you can see some of the switchbacks that kind of wind down this first bit, and then it goes low and then carries on the far side over there. I'm guessing it must skirt above that canyon before dropping down into it and out on the other side. So I'll crack on. Really looking forward to this ride down. It's a wonderful way to spend a day in December. Right then, off we go again. Wow, this really is spectacular. And the road continues. There's a few places where you can see it's been patched up where it's a bit rougher like that, but the views really are quite incredible. I've done a fair few mountain passes this year on various continents, and I think this one probably tops them all. Yeah, and I've had quite a few special ones as part of that. When it says 588 kilometres to fuel and you've got 543 kilometres of fuel, there must be petrol before then, I'm sure of it. We shall see. Quite sure it gets boring just watching somebody ride a mountain pass. So I mean, it's certainly quite a rough surface. It's not like something you can fly along, especially when you're on something like a GS Adventure with more road focused tyres. But the scenery is spectacular, and I've not come across anything yet that I thought was particularly challenging from an off-road perspective. Maybe if you want to, go flat out over any of this, then maybe it becomes a bit more tricky. A lot of it, it's some steep sections with loose gravel, but as long as you're comfortable on, maybe green lanes in the UK, I don't think you'd have any problem with riding this. It really is amazing though. Let's come around this hairpin, give you another look at the canyon. I mean, you can see the road over there to the left. I'll stand up, give you a quick look. Can't quite get over the wall. But yeah, just believe me that there's just quite steep hairpins. Some of the rocks are quite big as you come down here, but there are smoother bits and you can pick a line. There is always the risk that something's going to be coming up the other way, I suppose, but so far, so good. And yes, I know I should be riding on the left in this country. It's like the UK. However, for the sight lines and the getting around the bends, might as well make use of all the space there is. So right now I'm right down in the bottom of the canyon. Still some way to go, but I'm down by the river, as you can see, and just these incredibly steep sides. I mean, it really is quite spectacular. And I guess during the rainy season this is very much a ford, not a bridge. But yeah, pretty cool. Not a lot of water in it really. It does wash my boots off though. That's always good. It really is just such a cool place to ride a motorbike. It's unbelievable. And it's empty. I mean, I've seen like one or two cars the whole time I've been doing it. But I think this is me coming out at the bottom end. That is me leaving the bottom of the Swartberg Pass. Right then, need to find somewhere else to go now. And after the fun of the Swartberg Pass, I'm now out in the open. So on this big road, there's a car quite a long way ahead of me, which I guess must be that dust cloud. But suddenly the road speed just picks up massively. You can quite happily zip along here at 50 miles an hour, at least until I have a wiggle moment, and then the speed tends to drop off quite a lot. Now I am getting to the main road, and I was going to go to Prince Albert for a break, but actually I've had that many stops on the pass that I don't think I need to, and it's already gone noon and the day's running out of daylight, so I'm going to crack on and yeah, see what comes next. So I'm riding down the N12 now, and this is the alternative route through those same mountains that the Swartberg Pass went through. And as you can see, it's pretty stunning as well. You know, there's still, the canyons aren't quite as big, but it's this immaculate road surface. And all of these bits I'm going through, I think, become fords in the rainy season, and now they're just super smooth tarmac. It's pretty impressive, and it's a very twisty road. You know, nicely cambered corners. Also not a lot of traffic. I've seen a couple of vehicles, but to be honest, there's most places you can pass without too much bother. Right then, I think I'm off to find a back road to Knysna. There's a baboon. So I get to a road like this and it reminds me of driving back to California, back to San Diego from Las Vegas, where you get these roads across the desert and just a dead straight. Just go on for miles and miles. I'll be honest, it's not the most fun riding, but the scenery is pretty spectacular, and it's a means to an end to get to the next interesting road. What it also means is when I thought I might still be out as it was going dark, well, there's a tortoise. In reality, I think I'm going to be back in maybe 6 o'clock, 6:30, which is a lot earlier than I planned. I said 84 kilometres to Knysna, so that is going to take me a while, but that also explains why the sat-nav has been telling me it's 3.5 hours to do 180 kilometres. So yeah, let's see how we get on with this. Nice to be back on the dirt. Going down this back road now, over towards the Knysna. This is still the R339. It's a lot like the roads I did yesterday. If anything, it's a bit tighter. There's a lot more tight bends on it. I've not seen any trucks or anything. In fact, I've not seen any vehicles at all. And it just really winds round the scenery. Every now and again you do get a few ridges like that. The only bit on the bike I'm struggling with a bit is front end grip. It's got a fairly worn front tyre that I think was 80/20 or 90/10. It's a Conti Trail Attack. So I'm just feeling that a little bit, and the fact that I haven't seen anyone either means I'm just being a little bit more careful than my usual high degree of caution. But it's stunning scenery, really quite a cool road. Down through here is a bit interesting. Yeah, the road is actually cut up quite a lot more and it's quite a lot tighter. I just had a pickup go by with a trailer at some speed, which helps to keep it a little bit. That's something a bit different really. Breaks up the spectacular scenery and just trying to keep this front wheel going in the right direction. This is, I think it's actually an R road, so it's quite a main road. When you get bits like this that are this tight and this steep, this rocky, you can see where it's been dug out a bit by vehicles coming up and down. A few little bridges just across the creek that runs down here. I'm still going on the 339. It's opened out quite a lot. There's a Renault Kadjar up ahead of me, who whenever I get close to, it's just too much dust, so I have to back off again. But yeah, it's still a fun road. A bit more soft sand than maybe before. The faster bits are a bit faster. So this is now the forest road that leads down into Knysna. So this is still the R339. Earlier on it was paved. Now it's very much sort of hard pack, but with quite a few sort of dips in it here and there. So you can probably see the bikes skipping around a little bit. I see more cars on here actually than I have anywhere else. I don't know if it's just the time of day, people heading back. But it's certainly got a lot cooler as well. I think it's something like 17 or 18 degrees. It's now overcast. There's even a few raindrops a short while ago, particularly when I think of the weather that's going on back home at the moment. But actually it's been quite nice to just take the heat out of the air, and also to make it slightly less dusty. I say slightly less dusty because it is still pretty dusty. Yeah, I'll need a wash when I get home, I think. Here we are, back on tarmac. This is oh, it's fun. I don't know how far that was, something like 60 kilometres maybe, 70. I will look it up. Yeah, now back on the main road. It's going to take me into Knysna. Not too long. So that was kind of a fun ride doing that back road down into Knysna. I'm here now, and I've actually just been to see an old friend who I've not seen for years. and she suggested that I come up here and have a look at the heads. So this is basically, it's a walkway in Knysna that overlooks the lagoon on one side and the ocean on this side, and it's absolutely stunning. I'm sure it's a great place from which to watch the sunset. I'm not going to be here for sunset because I've still got a 2-hour ride to get back to the hotel before dark, but I thought it was just so stunning that it was worth just sharing it. Right then, next thing is back on the bike, get myself back to the hotel. I think I've got one more pass to do on the way, so it should be fun. That is me done with my sightseeing for today. So it's 1 hour 51 minutes, 128 kilometres to get back, 248 kilometres of fuel, so at least on that regard I should be fine tonight. Something quite nice about driving by the water as the sun begins to set, just to finish off what's been a really fun day of riding over the passes in the morning, the dirt roads in the afternoon. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Quite looking forward to getting back now. Let's see how quickly I can do this 119 kilometres. Just on the highway heading back, and it's right on the edge of the ocean. It's actually 2 lanes each side, built into the side of the cliff. It's quite cool to see the ocean there and the pink clouds and the sunset. I've ended up doing something that I said I wouldn't do, which was to ride at night. Now this 1200 GS Adventure that I'm riding is actually a development bike for the guys at Hex Microsystem, Hex Innovate, who make their GS911 diagnostic boxes that can play with the settings, and their EZCan devices. Now, I must admit, I never really felt the need for extra lighting and things on my bike, but this bike has got, in addition to the BMW spots, it's got 2 Denali, I think they're D7s, and blimey, when I go to full beam, that's dipped beam, that's BMW, like normal dipped beam, together with the fog lights, and it really is like night and day. They're brilliant. I'm extremely impressed. Maybe that's something I need to look at. So that's it. That is the end of my day 2 here in South Africa. As you can probably tell, it's not night. It was that late when I got back, and it seems all the restaurants here shut at 9. So I had to pretty much dash just to get something to eat. Really good day's riding. Yeah, love the passes, love the dirt roads. I was quite glad that I made it back in one piece. But I've got more to come tomorrow, so really looking forward to that. So I hope that's been interesting and useful. If it has, maybe check out some of my other content from here in South Africa. Thanks for watching.